No Man's Sky, Hints and Tips Part 2. So here I am gathering items, and along comes this big, huge creature you can see in the background. I'm going, what the heck is that? And so you'll see what exactly that is here coming up. I climbed the hill and I couldn't find him anywhere. Anyways, this is going to be a hints and tips video. It's probably going to be comparably long to the other video that I did, the first part. And there's been numerous items that I've discovered. There's like a potential bug in which that your spaceship, will basically flash red. And so I go over those topics, and then there's a few other, like how you can gather the whispering eggs. Once you open these eggs, you got dinosaurs that come out and they will kill you. And so I've discovered a way that's a little bit easier, but it's still somewhat hard. This is where I find another crashed little fighter jet, so I say, yeah, I think I should add this to my collection. I can get it for nothing, and I know that it's going to pop up in my freighter once I select it. And it's a C class, but my thought process is I'll trade it in on another ship. This is where I come up with a way to gather these whispering eggs. In my opinion, it's really just foolhardy, because the amount of money that they give you for the whispering eggs, there's so much work involved to try to get them, and you basically risk death. And so, in my opinion, it's really not a very good way, and there's really nothing that you can use the whispering eggs at this point in the game. There's nothing that I can use them for other than just selling them. And they run about $60,000 an egg, so it's not bad money, but there's a lot of, messing around that you got to do in order to get them, and, I just can't say that it's really worth the effort, There's far easier ways to make money than going through all the hassle of doing this and then risking death, because you'll see here what happens to me, in trying to do this. I almost kill myself, but it's not from the creatures, it's from the low gravity. It's another thing that's interesting about this game is that it's, you'll have varying degrees of planets. So in other words, the air is really thin, and so your jetpack will work really, a lot better, but it's half one dozen another. You also fall harder. Right there, I almost die because my jetpack runs out and I fall all the way into that cave, and so I almost die from the fall. And so the game is really unique in that sense that you've got differences from one planet to another and how your jetpack operates. If it's if there's very little air on the planet, your jetpack will basically have more boost to it. Here's another issue in gathering the whispering eggs. If you don't grab that egg, it basically disappears on you. So you have all that work that you spent trying to get that egg for nothing. The pearls are a bit easier. You typically find them in caves, and obviously they don't pay as much. Usually about $5,000 a pearl. So if you're around a lot of them and you have enough space, you can only fit 5 per slot. And so that's another degrading problem with gathering the pearls, is they take up a lot of room. This is this is one easy way to get away from the sentinels. If you're on a planet that's especially depleted of resources, you can climb up on these structures high up, and there will be a sentinel up there typically, but you kill them off, and then the ones that come to look for you, they never go up high. And so you can basically kill off the ones that are up there on that structure. You can see right there, I show the structure in the background right there. And so these are floating crystal type things, and they're very similar to the curious element type thing, where they've got compressed materials within them. And so you just shoot them and use your laser to harvest them. There's three such ways in which ships flash red in an area, and my fleet is in this area. This is actually a ship that's under attack, that's being offered to join my fleet, and they're flashing red because they're under attack. And so I take over the ship. I basically have them join my fleet, and then I go and I shoot and kill off the ships that are attacking this ship. And so I don't know if, because maybe there was damage done to the ship, before they joined my fleet, that and that maybe that's what caused the problem that I entail here coming up in the video. And basically what happens is that I have three ships that are flashing red. Eventually you'll see that coming up. They're flashing red. I go through, I try to make repairs to it, and they continue to flash red, and then there's this noise, almost like somebody banging on drums, and it's very annoying. And so so I'm going to go through that here coming up. This is where I just shoot off and kill off all the enemy ships, and then I've already purchased this other ship to join my fleet at this point. And here I'm killing off more enemy ships. And then I gather, you can see those materials floating there, so I just fly over there to grab them. Usually most of the time they just come to you. And so here you can see that the fighter is now on my freighter. I didn't have to do anything. This was the freighter that was damaged that I showed earlier in the video. And so I didn't have to do anything. They just automatically place it on my freighter. And so what you're looking at here is my frigate list, and I've basically expanded this so you can get a better view of this. I've got basically 5 ships, 5 C ships, and then 1 A-class ship. These have all joined my fleet, and so I'm basically at this point getting ready to send them out on a mission. And so I typically don't send all ships on every mission. Initially I was doing it like that, but I now just select specific ships to go out on various missions, and then they earn you money if they come back successfully. Leading up into this problem that I discovered, I was basically in this firefight, so I don't know if something, if maybe one of these ships were attacked during this time that I was killing off these enemy ships. I really don't know how the bug occurred. It seems to me that I had the bug once before this specific point in time, but for whatever reason it cleared, and so I didn't give it any second thought. And so, but the problem with it was that I was in the area and I was harvesting various things, working on my freighter, and the noise just sounds like just drums, like a deep bass drum just continually banging, like almost like you got a migraine. And so it's very annoying. And so I decided to get to the bottom of it and to figure out what I could do to reset it so the ships would stop flashing red and the banging would stop, more or less. And so you'll see coming up, I tour these ships, and the ships that are flashing red, there's actually like 3 of them flashing red. Here I am on one of them. And basically, you've got to go through, because I actually found some broken things on the ship, but they don't really point you to where you go. And there's a few key points, when you go around doing this, because I've been on ships before and I've jetpacked. I've jetpacked one time and it killed me, and I was so mad with myself for doing it, but I was trying to save time, blah blah blah, and it killed me. So from here on out, I don't fly around. I don't use my jetpack while I'm on a ship, because if you fly off that ship, you're going to die. If you can't get back, because once your jetpack wears out, you're a goner. If you're not, if you fly, because right there you're in outer space more or less. You fly off that platform, you're a goner. Now there is no floating around in space. Even if you're in your spacesuit, the game will kill you. And so for that reason, it takes a lot of time to go through all this. And then on top of that, you go over there and it turns out I don't have the material to fix it. And so now I've got to go all the way over to my space station. I've actually got the materials on my on my freighter, but I can't access it because I'm not on my freighter. And so I have to go all the way over there to my freighter to get the materials and then go back. And so I decide, well, I'll just go all the way through it, make sure that there aren't any other, make sure that I get all the materials I'm going to need in order to do it, so then I don't have to keep coming back. And that's what I do. I go ahead and go through it all at once to figure out what materials I'm going to need. So this clip here demonstrates to you the flashing red, banging on the drums type bug. Basically, by this time, I've already gone through all the ships and repaired them, and for whatever reason, the thing doesn't reset. It just continues to flash red, going bangity, bangity, bang. And so basically, I land on it, and every time that I landed on this, it tells me to collect cargo. And so that's a key thing. And so what I do is once I go through and I make sure that all the ships are correct, then I just restart it up. And you can see here that I've played 120 hours in this game. And so I just restart back up and it clears everything out. And so I think it may be partially due to maybe my freighter was full and the ships came back and were being attacked or something and couldn't offload their cargo or something. I really don't know. But I wind up clearing it by this point, and but this one is a different one in which the ship there's just a single ship that's red, and it's got a marked icon. It looks kind of like a red angry icon, and so this is a completely different thing because it tells you exactly where to go to fix whatever's damaged on the ship. So it's completely unrelated from the one that I just showed you. So that's kind of important. If you watched all the way through, I appreciate you watching my video. This is a scenic spot that I landed on another planet. I thought I'd show you some nice scenery as the ending. I do have some more hints and tips coming up that didn't make it into this video. At current time, I'm probably at about 125 hours into playing this game. And so I'm learning, I've learned a few more tips and tricks on how to make money. And so you'll want to catch that the next video that I post. But I thought I'd leave you with another scenic shot. I mean, that's one thing that I really like about this video game is that you can really just take your time and do really pretty much whatever it is you want to do, whether it's sightseeing or whatever. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Brought to you by Mental Vacation in association with Ray TV.